Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're exploring a truly fascinating philosophical text by Xu Feng that takes a really deep look at how we process the world around us. It's an exploration of something he calls image thinking versus materialistic thinking. And honestly, how embracing one of these mindsets over the other might just be the absolute key to elevating our entire reality. Okay, let's dive into this. How do we turn reality into magic? I mean, seriously, have you ever stopped to wonder how we, as human beings, can take a basic everyday physical reality, a simple rock, a sound wave in the air, a movement of the body, and transform it into something deeply emotional, something that feels practically eternal? How does a plain piece of paper with a little bit of ink on it make us cry, or a vibration in the air make us feel profound joy? That beautiful transformation is exactly what we're breaking down today.
And the answer? It's image thinking. The text defines it really clearly as the process of transforming the appearance of the material world, or a tangible entity, into a pattern, symbol, melody, language, gesture, expression, or sound. Think about the scale of that for a second. This single powerful concept explains the root of virtually all human creativity. When a person sits down to sketch a landscape, or snaps a photograph of a gorgeous sunset, or sculpts a block of marble, they aren't just copying what's right in front of them. They're using image thinking to express physical objects through patterns. It's absolutely brilliant when you realize just how universal this ability really is.
Section 1. Symbols, Art, and Language.
Let's start with how we transform the physical into the symbolic in our everyday work. Cartography and engineering are perfect examples of this. Whether we're looking at maps of the globe, complex transistor circuit diagrams, architectural blueprints for massive skyscrapers, or even just simplified and staffed musical notation. We are constantly taking giant, complex physical entities and turning them into small, understandable symbols. And this brilliantly illustrates how we compress massive physical realities into tiny, manageable formats. Without image thinking, a blueprint is literally just meaningless lines on a page, but with it, it's a towering building just waiting to be built.
But it goes way beyond practical blueprints, right? It deeply touches our souls through sound. Consider how we express vast nature and complex human stories through melody. The source text highlights some incredibly famous musical pieces like A Moonlit Night on the Spring River, The Moon Reflected in Urquan, and the Butterfly Lovers' Violin Concerto. These aren't just random acoustic vibrations. By masterfully using emotional highs and lows, these melodies achieve a profound spiritual impact. They take the vastness of the natural world, the immense complexity of human love and sorrow, and express them perfectly through audio alone. It proves that sound can truly capture the depth of the human experience.
And actually, just consider the evolution of Chinese pictographs. This writing system began as visual symbols directly representing physical objects in the real world. And the incredible thing is, even today, characters for the moon, mountain, stone, and water still retain the undeniable traces of those original physical pictures they represent. Language itself is a masterpiece of image thinking. Our ancestors literally took the physical world and turned it into characters we can write, read, and share across generations.
And when you string those brilliant symbols together, well, real magic happens. As the author states regarding great literature, we can vividly see the characters come to life, as if they are standing before us. Think about the classic literary works mentioned in the text, like Romance of the Three Kingdoms or Journey to the West. Through words alone, we watch these vivid, lifelike stories unfold in our minds. The authors are using their highly developed image thinking to transform real human traits and historical realities into permanent literary figures. They're materializing people inside our heads using nothing but ink on a page. This concept also applies perfectly to the realms of imitation and performance. Take the renowned ancient physician Hua Tuo, who created the 5 animal frolics health exercises. He elevated the simple imitation of animal movements into highly specific postures and gestures to actually promote human health. Or consider theater, whether it's the iconic plays of Shakespeare or Lao Shi. The actors you watch on stage, they aren't showing their own genuine personal emotions. Instead, they act as living vessels. They're embodying a character, vividly expressing a joy, anger, and sorrow that isn't truly theirs. Even something as incredibly simple as a person imitating an animal sound, like a frog croak or a horse neigh, is pure image thinking in action. You're temporarily substituting yourself for the physical reality of that animal.
And here is where it gets incredibly relatable for all of us in the modern world. Think about a simple photograph of a distant loved one. Scientifically, it's just light printed on paper or pixels illuminated on a digital screen. But emotionally, it provides genuine deep comfort. Or consider the television. The sweeping landscapes and compelling figures on a TV screen are mere projections, literally just glowing lights, yet they have the power to make us laugh, cry, get anxious, and actually shout at the screen. So the crucial point is that these images substitute for reality so effectively that they trigger very real emotional and physiological reactions within us. Our very empathy is fueled by image thinking.
Section 2. The materialistic mindset.
Now, this is a stark, somewhat bleak contrast to the vibrant creativity we've just been exploring. Materialistic thinking is described in the text as highly direct, one-dimensional, and entirely instinct-driven. To this mindset, 1 is 1 and 2 is 2. There's no hidden meaning. It operates purely on basic survival impulses. The wind blows, the temperature drops, it signals cold, so you put on a coat. Hunger strikes your stomach, you search for food. A physical desire arises, you take action to fulfill it. There is very little need for conscious creative thought here. It's simply a continuous mechanical state of, I have no choice but to do this.
Now, what's really interesting about this comparison is the dramatic duality between these two ways of existing. On one hand, we have materialistic thinking. The core mindset here is passive. I have no choice but to do this. It's mechanical. People trapped purely in this mode often feel confined, engaging in daily actions that feel obligatory. It's sometimes accompanied by a sense of self-loathing or resignation, essentially just repeating the exact same tasks their ancestors did to survive. But on the other side, we have image thinking. Here, the mind is active and engaged. The mantra becomes, I choose to do this. It is inherently creative, independent, and completely autonomous. It is, quite literally, the difference between simply surviving the physical world and truly living in it.
Section 3. Freedom through image thinking.
I am so excited to get to this part because this is where the author's argument truly reaches its climax. The ultimate power of image thinking is that it empowers us to transcend the purely physical, mechanical world and enter the realm of the spirit. By doing this, we can literally break free from the rigid constraints of time and space. Think about it. A photograph freezes time forever. A painting of a fleeting sunset lasts long after the actual sun has gone down. A beautifully written story keeps people from hundreds of years ago vividly alive in our minds today. We take fleeting, temporary moments and, through image thinking, we transform them into something relatively eternal. That is an immense level of freedom.
And hey, this isn't just highbrow theoretical philosophy. It happens in everyday, common life all the time. The text gives a fantastic, highly relatable example to illustrate this. Think of young music fans decorating their bedroom walls with large posters of their favorite idols. To a strict materialistic thinker, that is just ink on glossy paper stuck to drywall. But through image thinking, those posters provide a very real form of emotional and spiritual regulation for that fan. The image transcends the physical reality of the room, bringing daily joy and comfort. Elevating our thought process like this has tangible, everyday benefits for our mental state and our overall well-being.
The author of the text, Zhu Feng, applies this concept to the idea of finding a personal spiritual sanctuary. He refers to the concept of Lifechanyuan, which is a specific philosophical community introduced in the text. The text explains that when an individual internalizes a concept like Lifechanyuan as a spiritual and emotional home, they're using image thinking to create a profound mental safe harbor. By doing so, the author argues, individuals can free themselves from the daily suffering, the burdens, and the anxieties caused by normal worldly attachments. It's all about creating a symbolic spiritual sanctuary in your mind that leads to a higher, more peaceful level of spiritual refinement and personal freedom.
Which brings us perfectly to this powerful summarizing quote from the text. Image elements transcend reality, the mundane, time and space, and even personal worries. This is the very core thesis of everything we've explored today. Image elements have a profound, measurable effect on the human spirit. They elevate our state of mind. Elevating our mode of thinking from the purely materialistic to this creative, image-driven state doesn't just change how we look at a painting or read a book, it directly and profoundly influences the quality of our lives and our very existence.
So, I want to leave you with this final, crucial question to think about as you go about the rest of your day. Are you living mechanically, or are you using image thinking to elevate your world? Are you just reacting to the wind and the cold, stuck in the passive, I have no choice mindset? Or are you actively shaping your reality, finding the eternal in the fleeting, and proudly saying, I choose to? Take a look around you today. Look at the symbols, the art, the language, the media, and ask yourself how you can use the incredible power of image thinking to find more freedom and joy in your own life. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring.